Welcome to Your Good News. I'm Rena Sargentopoulos. This is a show dedicated to nothing but things that will make you smile or at least help you find hope and faith in humanity. The world is sometimes a rough place, and we just need to hear some of the good things that are going on, right? Let's kick things off with a major sports moment in Minnesota.
Minnesota working in the zone. In front, a chance here. Phillips to the cross. He scores! Minnesota Frost, back-to-back Walter Cup champions.
The Walter Cup is staying in the state of hockey. The Frost taking the PWHL title for a second year in a row. Now, that winning moment needed to be celebrated, so fans gathered from far and wide to line the streets of St. Paul to show love to their two-time championship team. Gordon Severson was there for the victory parade.
In the state of hockey, there's a lot of history. From miracles to North Stars. Wild, and now Frost.
Yeah, he's pretty heavy. It's about time to pass him off.
A team that has already earned its place in the history books.
That's right.
With not one championship, but two.
This is the only city that has one of these, and we got two. That's right. Back-to-back champions. Let's go.
A team worthy of a parade through downtown St. Paul.
It's cold in here.
A well-earned victory lap.
Your Walter Cup champions back-to-back, your Minnesota Frost.
After grinding their way through 4 games in overtime.
When it finally went in, we were almost like, thank God it's over, but thank God we won.
To give Minnesota sports fans something they don't see very often. A championship trophy.
Hi folks, just don't touch it, please.
After seeing it up close, fans are hoping history will repeat itself. With the beginnings of a dynasty and a new generation of hockey players.
Not only for the young kids, like me and all my friends, we're in our mid-20s and we're like, how do we get into hockey?
Let's go, Frost! Let's go, Frost! Let's go, Frost! Let's go, Frost!
New championship gear dropped within an hour of the team clinching the title. Everything from t-shirts to hats, and a medallion puck is available online to pre-order. There will surely be many more Frost fans sporting the colors around town soon. Well, let's keep the championship team theme going here, and women at that. The 4-time champion Minnesota Lynx had a big announcement recently, and Rabid fan Janice Shortle got to break the news.
How to get KARE 11 and the Minnesota Lynx together.
Yes, so we're incredibly excited. For the first time since really the early years of the Minnesota Lynx, you're going to be able to watch some Lynx games this season on KARE 11. So we'll have 4 games. They're all Sunday games, 3 in June and 1 in July. And they will be simulcast along with our FanDuel Sports games as well. There will be pre-shows, post-shows, and we're just really incredibly excited to increase accessibility for our fans, maybe expose some new fans to the Minnesota Lynx and, you know, our winning ways, and excited to really just have people be able to watch on KARE 11.
Yeah, a hometown team with a hometown station. What I'm looking forward to, Carly, so next year the NBA goes to NBC. I just think we should all go together.
Well, more to come on that front.
Spill the tea, Carly.
Never.
So true.
Like you just heard, KARE 11 will air 4 Minnesota Lynx games, one already under our belt. The next one is Sunday, June 8th. We'll carry the game against Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings. That one's at 3. Next up, June 29th, the Lynx will take on the Phoenix Sun at 6 p.m. And on July 6th, the Chicago Sky come to town for another 6 p.m. start. Again, all right here on KARE 11. Okay, so to bring up the Timberwolves right now might seem like kind of a downer, but hear me out. The season did not end the way anyone was hoping for, but sometimes the good news comes out of the dark places. This is a story of dedication and promises and a little orange bracelet that now means a lot to 2 different people, Anthony Edwards and a 6-year-old boy fighting cancer.
Like most 6-year-olds, Luca Wright loves basketball. It's brought him joy, even on the darkest days.
What were you in the hospital for?
But unlike most 6-year-olds,
I was sick.
Luca is fighting for his life.
They called me back while I was at work, and that's when they told me over the phone, they're like, you know, his labs are a little bit concerning. There's a chance that he could have leukemia. And at that point, I was just like, Like, what are you talking? Like, there's no way.
The Michigan family was growing. Mom Lacey was pregnant with their third child, now having to drive her firstborn to weekly cancer treatments.
He had lost all his hair. He was weak. He was immunocompromised. We couldn't see people. We couldn't do anything. He didn't want to do anything. He felt terrible.
I was diagnosed with cancer when I was 5.
That's why 5 is Luca's favorite number, similar to his favorite basketball players.
You will be courtside.
In January, he was surprised by a content creator with tickets to the Wolves game in Detroit. The Wolves were struggling, even their star was Anthony Edwards. But then came a 6-year-old and his wristband.
How did it make you feel?
Happy.
You got some for me?
Luca met Ant and gave him the bracelet that says "Love like Luca" and it's a sunny day. Shortly afterwards, the Timberwolves started playing better.
Maybe it did impact them in a special way as well. Even in maybe the hardest or worst times, there's still plenty of reason to be happy.
Luca then saw Ant at the All-Star weekend.
I wear the wristband. We both love number 5.
From a boy's courage to a team's comeback, sometimes the biggest inspiration comes from the smallest hands.
A reminder, we can do hard things, gotta keep going and try to be better. It is a sunny day.
That was Morgan Wolf reporting. Luca still has a way to go with his cancer treatments, but should be done by February of 2026. And a happy birthday to Luca, who just recently turned 7. Well, from bracelets to keychains, here's a cute story about a little free library concept with a twist. A Monticello family was inspired to create a little free keychain exchange. Nicole Colbinson sent us this picture, which is very clearly a trinket gold mine. You've got Disney characters, a horse, a dinosaur, maybe even a severed Barbie head keychain. Well, of course, you can take one of these trinkets, and if you do, they ask that you just leave one behind. And maybe you can leave a trinket that's already been transformed into a keychain. Nicole's post says it's located in the Groveland edition of Monticello, and who knows, maybe this will inspire you to do something awesome like this too. Coming up, the busiest wildlife rescue in the country is right here in Minnesota and now getting some international attention. But first, here's some of your good news that you shared with us this week. Pat Downey from Farmington says this is the first time Mama Duck has brought her babies to swim in my pond. We've had a pair of ducks most years, but no babies in the 13 years that we have had this pond.
Wow.
So cute.
They're enjoying it.
Yeah. And Mark and Kristen Coles of Brooklyn Park say our son Sam recently graduated from Iowa State with a degree in aerospace engineering and was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Air Force ROTC. He will report to his first base in August. We could not be more proud of all he has accomplished. Yes, you both have very much to be proud of, and congratulations.
Very cool, yeah.
Yeah. And Jennifer Schultz shared this. Judy Genschaft, is an honors college graduate and University of South Florida Tampa bachelor's degree, summa cum laude at 20 years old. Unfortunately, neither her dad or grandpa made her graduation as they both passed away a few years ago. So she was very happy, but also did have a hard time with them not being with us. She is also, by the way, a co-founder of 2 advertising social media businesses, Perla Creative and Spartan Media. That is a young woman who is a go-getter. Congratulations, and Mama, you do have a lot to be proud of as well. Welcome back. The Wildlife Rehabilitation Center of Minnesota is such a resource in our state that it can be hard to truly appreciate. It is the busiest rehab in the U.S. and attracts interest worldwide, which brings us to a unique visitor. An Australian vet is there on a fellowship right now to learn more about how they're keeping up with all the rescue demand. Gordon Severson has that story.
Oh, he is adorable. You have some amazing wildlife here in Minnesota.
Only an animal doctor outside of the United States would get this excited about a squirrel.
This is all new to me. We don't have squirrels.
Dr. Andrew Hill is a veterinarian from Australia.
We're going to check your teeth.
He's visiting the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center in Roseville to learn how they treat more than 22,000 animals a year.
We are the busiest wildlife hospital in the nation and one of the busiest in the world.
Medical Director Renee Schott says animal doctors can learn a lot from each other.
This last one was very cute but very feisty. So what's the best approach?
Like how to safely handle a squirrel. And for Dr. Hill, teaching our doctors about the animals he sees every day.
So Australia is a land of parrots. So we see many parrots. We also see a large range of bats, kangaroos and koalas especially.
We get excited about his species, he gets excited about ours. That's exciting.
And sharing tips about the animals we both have.
These guys will make me a bit homesick because we have possums.
Besides Minnesota, Dr. Hill is also visiting animal hospitals in Brazil, Canada, and the UK.
This is about learning globally, sharing the information so we can inspire locally.
Like the center here in Minnesota, Dr. Hill says they too are seeing more animals coming in every year.
So this is what it's all about, getting these little guys back out to the wild.
And to protect these animals, especially those that are endangered, it's going to take a village of animal doctors sharing advice from around the world.
We can continue to share information as hospitals grow and as new diseases and incidences arise.
Dr. Hill says the biggest surprise that he had was actually how quiet it is here at the center. With all the parrots that they see, it can get pretty noisy at times over in Australia. Gordon Severson, KARE 11 News.
Once Dr. Hill's worldwide tour is over, he'll write up a report that will be shared with animal doctors around the world so they can also learn from his experiences here in Minnesota. Speaking of wildlife, it's that time of year when turtles need a little extra TLC. Minneapolis Parks and Recs is warning people to make way with a new pilot program aimed at preventing turtles from dying on our local roadways. This time of year, adults are leaving water to find summer habitat and a suitable spot to lay their eggs. So the city identified those turtle hotspots based on past turtle sightings and then installed curb cuts, signage, and road markings to warn the public. You'll find those near Lake of the Isles, Cedar Lake, and Lake Nokomis. Parks and Rec says you should generally avoid handling healthy turtles, but if you do move them, make sure you put them down facing the same direction. Did you know that they can travel up to a mile to find just the right spot? And take a look at these cuties who are debuting soon at the International Wolf Center in Ely. Stop it. The wolf pups were born in late April and arrived at the Wolf Center in early May. They're expected to be on exhibit the first week of June. The boys don't have names yet, and you can help. We have a link to submit name ideas with this story on our website at KARE11.com. Well, turning a corner from animals, or maybe we should say looking up, Minnesota is home to some unique water towers. From Rochester's Ear of Corn to Lindstrom's Coffee Pot, they're part form and part function until they don't function anymore. At least 50 water towers interstate are now decommissioned, not working, but are still standing. Audrey Russo has this interesting story.
Every day at noon and 6.
Predictable as a pattern. The heart of Osseo,
It rattles everything.
sits high above its people.
You know, not everybody's got one in their backyard.
It also rests on the city seal
It's an easy landmark.
and on every lamppost.
Tell people, hey, I live by the Pony Water Tower, and they go, oh, okay, they know right where it's at.
Went into service in 1915.
At 88 years old, it stopped pumping.
It hasn't held water for some time.
But discussions to tear it down 10 years ago
It can be expensive to keep up.
were met with the pulse of hometown pride.
Nobody wanted to see it go.
Osseo residents got the water tower listed on the National Register of Historic Places.
So cool to see communities say this is worth it to us.
A rhythm of revival.
Water tower nerd would be
Stu Thornley
a good description.
can follow closely.
Oh yeah.
He's an educator with the State Health Department's drinking water program.
Started here in the 90s. I've climbed a few water towers. I believe there are 969 active water towers.
He says the desire to keep the old ones standing
And there's at least 50
runs
that are like this.
in Minnesota's veins.
And then it takes somebody to say, let's not tear it down. Let's see what we can do. Love the view and just love the adventure. And then you realize you can't think about a city without thinking about the water tower.
Minneapolis also didn't have the heart to demolish a tower, unable to keep pace with modern times.
It goes back well into the 19th century.
Stu says upkeep can cost a city tens of thousands of dollars, usually in grants.
You've got to inspect it. And then once you have it, what does it keep standing? So there's a financial investment, there's a commitment to it.
Not every retired tower is destined to become a landmark. But the threat of absence
Not necessarily thinking about it until there's a reason to think about it.
can make a community grow fonder.
We'll get out at Marshall Avenue.
It was built in 1940.
Shakopee is circulating cash now
It serves the purpose for everybody.
to keep a tower you'd think would be on its last legs
We're not going to decommission it.
from flatlining.
In 1946, Popular Mechanics, they featured it in an article. Within the next 3 years, this will get reconditioned again, inside and out. We're going to keep it in service as long as we can. This is the one that we take pride of, right?
Holding on to a beaten history.
One of those marvels of engineering.
It's a thought that's constantly ticking for Stu,
Yep.
who's 1 year out from retirement himself.
My climbing days are over. They hold memories. They don't hold water, they hold memories.
Daily rhythms we hardly notice,
And we don't want that to go. I love tradition.
ending up at the heart
It's pride for cities.
of who we are.
Saying, no, you know what? That tower means something to me.
Audrey tells us not every decommissioned tower gets landmark status. Sometimes they remain standing because they're simply too costly to demolish. Thornley says engineers frequently tell cities to budget about $40,000 for removal. Communities can get creative, though, repurposing them into backup tanks for their newer counterparts. Well, still to come, an adorable update to a story about a World War II vet that Boyd featured in his Land of 10,000 Stories. But first, here's more of your good news that you shared with us this week. Kitty Miller from St. Paul says happy 5th birthday to my best buddy Riley. He's the best cat ever. He loves to be outside on our screen porch. He is so much company for me. Happy birthday, Riley.
Happy birthday, Riley.
Yeah. And Marnette says I'm babysitting my grandpup Porter. I do not know the name of this. Do you know this lake name near Bemidji?
Pleasanette.
There you go. We'll go with that. Ben knows best. What a good and handsome boy. Thanks for sending that one in. And Luann Prop sent this in. This is my grandson who will turn 2 years old the first part of June, just chilling out in his lawn chair with an ice cream sandwich over the Memorial Day weekend. Already loving summer in Minnesota. Me too, buddy.
Is that peak summer living right there?
Right? Look at that.
Chilling in a lawn chair, maybe
an ice
watching a
cream
parade
sandwich.
go by and having an ice cream sandwich.
Or a popsicle. Yes, that is Minnesota at its finest. Alexandria honored a World War II veteran as Grand Marshal of its Memorial Day parade. Jim Claremont was featured in the Land of 10,000 Stories in 2019 as he prepared for the 75th anniversary of D-Day. Memorial Day weekend was a big one for Jim for reasons beyond the parade. More on that after Boyd reintroduces us to a World War II hero.
At 94 years, Jim Claremont still has the
6 years after Jim's trip to Normandy, he is still starting his day with exercises, which continues to serve him well. And this was Jim riding in a Jeep as Grand Marshal of the Alexandria Memorial Day Parade. It is a fitting honor because Jim was also marking his 100th birthday. On the Saturday before the parade, friends and relatives gathered to celebrate with Jim. Governor Walz even proclaimed it Jim Claremont Day in Minnesota. This Memorial Day, it is also worth noting, the D-Day survivor is now the only member of his ship's crew that is still living. Now to a story that is quite unique. An art show in Golden Valley is marking an incredible 62-year run, and you still won't find anything else quite like it in the world.
It's 100% about the artist and their abilities, and it's a celebration of abilities. One of the founders of the show believed that creativity knows no limits, and although the artists have changed and where people are coming from has changed, the core value of art is limitless.
If you're interested in buying any of the art, it's not limitless. It's all original work, so once it's sold, it's gone. If you want to check out this year's selection, we've posted the link on KARE11.com. You can also see it in person by visiting Courage Kenny during regular hours between now and July 5th. Let's take a final listen to some of your good news that you shared with us this week. Wendy Boucher says, I and my therapy dogs received quite the honor from the Elk River School District. Way to go, Wendy. Thank you so much, and your pups there for helping so many people.
Doing all the good work.
Yeah, right? Randy Foy says our little boy Finn has been trying to get to the top part of our couch to look out the window like his big sister Sophie. He finally made it, and then he bragged about his accomplishment to all the neighbor dogs. We got one of those too. Kimberly Ganaway says, I'm visiting my mother, whose partner owns Madsen Farm in Watertown, Minnesota. It's calving season here on the 250-acre farm. The highlight of my day is riding the four-wheeler and going out and counting newborns. There's always something going on here, a calf being born, a fence that needs mending, or dinner that needs to be made. It never ends. I love it. Kimberly, that sounds amazing and like an episode of Yellowstone, but without all that extra drama.
I'm sure you could add drama if you'd like to, but...
You probably could. I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. There wasn't that kind of drama going on. Susie McDonald sent in this adorable pup. She says, 2 years ago, we got our rescue dog named Woody. What a sweet addition to your family. So cute. And a couple of weeks ago, Debbie Bordeaux sent in this picture of a praying mantis egg casing. We told her, hey, send in pics when they hatched. And here we are. You can see them, they're very tiny. She even pictured it next to a penny and a dime for us so you can see just how tiny they are in comparison. That's kind of neat. Never seen that before.
Very little.
And Margaret Semrud Kleichman says Sally is a rescue from the Bond Between. She's just learning agility training with Liz at Animal Training Inn. She's doing really well and trying very hard. Oh my gosh, of course you have to give a treat to that angel face. She was trying.
Yeah.
She'll get better.
I don't think I could do that with my dogs.
Oh, I couldn't do anything with my dogs.
They'd look at me like, you want me to what? Just give me the treat, Dad.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Spoiled dogs we've raised. Thanks for joining us for Your Good News. If you'd like to share your good news with us, we do it every day at the end of our 4 p.m. newscast. Just send us an email to yourgoodnews@kare11.com and be sure to add pictures or video of what you'd like us to share. Maybe there's a new baby in the family, or your grandson or granddaughter got married. Maybe you even beat cancer. Whatever it is, even if it's sharing good times with good friends, we want to hear about it. And until we see you again, have an excellent week, friends.